లేదు. ఆగు, 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 ఆగు. Yeah. How about now, guys? Stop talking. How about now? Am I audible? Okay. Okay, guys. And my voice good now? Still have a problem, but comparatively, it is better than last 3 days, I think. Okay. Morning 7 a.m. batch voice is clear. Array. Tell me now, here, why you're talking about that class. No voice, huh? Okay. Okay. Fine. So lastly, we have just been talking about okay, guys. Yeah. Last day, I was just been talking about ISP, right? Internet Service Provider. Internet Service Provider. So, what is an Internet Service Provider? Okay, what the first point is an ISP provides internet services. An ISP provides internet services. Second, a common internet service is web hosting. Web hosting. Okay, what is web hosting? Storing your website or web application on a public server. On a public server. Okay, next. This will include your email services also. And the other one is domain name registration also. All these particular things I was telling in the last session. Okay. So what is the first important point? An ISP provides you internet services, and a very common internet service is web hosting. What is hosting? Hosting means publishing a site. Hosting is nothing but publishing means putting our site on a public server. On a public server, so that it is accessible to all the people. Okay, means you manufacture something, you are taking it into the market, you are taking it to the market, so people can purchase it now. Are you clear? So you're putting on a public platform. You just opened a showroom in the market now, and you started selling your products. Means you're given a public platform. You came to a public platform to sell your product now. Are you clear? So hosting is also same. Putting our site on a public server. Putting our site on a public server is what we call as web hosting. Web hosting normally includes email services also. They'll provide you email services also. When you host your website, under your website hosting, you'll also will be getting the email services. Next, domain name registration. What is domain name registration? Domain name registration means you can just register a domain. You can register a domain basically. Like what? Facebook.com is a domain name. Google.com is a domain name. Narenshetty.com is a domain name. Tomorrow, for your website also, you need a domain name. And that domain name registration also will be provided by internet service provider. Okay. And read this guy's summary. This is what we are talking. See, I want my product to be available to general public. I want my product to be available to general public. If you want your product to be available for general public, what you require to do, you need to go to the market and sell it now. Correct? Same way, if you want other people to view your website, you must copy your site to a public server. Copy your site to a public server. Are you clear? Okay, next. Second point. I sell what I manufacture at my home. I sell what I manufacture at my home. But understand the visibility to the people who knows. I stay somewhere in some street now and I'm selling my products there. But how many people come to know about it? Only that area, yes or not? Only that particular area, not throughout the city. Am I right? I just started selling in a mall. In a mall, I just opened a showroom and I started selling my product. What is the visibility? Throughout the city, sometime everyone may come to some mall. You stay somewhere else also. Anytime you come, you may come to here. So then the visibility will be more. Yes or not? Here also understand. Your own PC can be used as a web server, but limited. It's going to be limited. But very common is to use a ISP host your site. A common thing is, a common practice is take the help of a ISP to host your site. Okay, next. You can also expect what? Domain name registration. That also will be provided by the ISP. ISP will give you all. So if at all you're going to basically for email, you refer a FTP server. You need a FTP server. Suppose tomorrow, if you are using your own PC as a public server, then you won't get email services now. Then you won't get email services. But if you go to ISP, ISP will provide you the email service also for you. That also comes to you. Next. Hosting your site or application on your own server is always an option. And here are some points to consider. Why is not clear again? If the morning it was going here, why problem now only? Don't understand. So I thought it's a mic problem, sorry, my voice problem, but from morning it was fine. My mic doesn't have any issue, man. Any connection issue. వాయిస్ వినిపించట్లేదండి అక్కడ డిస్టర్బెన్స్ వస్తుంది అంటున్నారు ఏంటి మనోడేది Hello. Hello. Yeah, guys. How about now? Is the voice clear now? అందులో అది ట్రిపుల్ బేస్ తగ్గించాం అవి రెండు లాస్ట్ బేస్ ట్రిపుల్ ఇందులోనే లాస్ట్ రెండు అది తగ్గించండి అది యా ఒకటి క్లియర్ నౌ నౌ ఇట్స్ గుడ్ ఓకే అదే ప్రాబ్లం ఓకే యా So have a look, guys. Hosting your site or application on your own server is always an option. And here are some important points to consider. Say, you can host your site on your own server. But remember, there are some challenges here. If at all you want to make your own machine as a server, if you want to make your own PC as a server, these are the problems what we face. First problem, hardware expenses. What is the first problem? Hardware expenses. What is it? Audio profile background. Just a minute. This is this is to suppress the background noises here. That should be high only. That should be high only. That the default setting I just used it. Okay, leave it. Hardware expenses. Run a real website or web application, you will have to buy some powerful server hardware. Don't expect that a low cost PC will do the job. You will also need a permanent 24 hours a day high speed internet connection. Important. You want to make your own PC as a public server, compulsory you require to purchase a highly configured machine. You require to purchase a highly configured machine. A low cost PC cannot do the job now. Yes or not? You require an i7 processor. i7 processor. Okay. And generally what we use is dual core, quad core processors. They won't do. You're just required to go for purchasing some 32 core processor. That is also important. 24, 32 core processor, i7 32 core processor. Bigger size of RAM. All this investment will become high for us. Today, you need to understand the subject first. What is this? Earlier, companies used to have their own data centers. Companies used to have their own data centers. For what? For maintaining their own websites. For maintaining their own websites, they used to have their own data centers actually. So what is the problem of maintaining our data center? High capital expenditure. High capital expenditure. What is the high capital expenditure? You're required to purchase a lot of storage. On a hard disk to purchase 1 TB. 1 TB over. Then you're required to purchase one more hard disk. No. You're required to purchase a lot of storage. Okay. I configured PCs. So all this investment, initial investment will be very high. Are you clear? So the problem of the capital expenditure is, you thought like you want to manufacture ice cream. You want to manufacture ice cream. If you don't want to manufacture the ice cream, you purchased a machine for it. Like ice cream manufacturing means the machines are very costly. You purchased it. But after you purchase the machines and started manufacturing the ice cream, you are not able to, means your product is not successful. You invested some 50 lakhs and all the establishment. But now your product is not successful now. Now, if you start resale, if you just go for reselling the appropriate thing, you don't even get 20 lakhs now. Yes or not? Once used means Second hand, that's all. You won't get the value, no market value. Everyone will start asking, okay, I'll give you 20 lakhs, give me. Okay. So if you're successful, fine. If you're not successful, you will be losing all this. This is all capital expenditure. This is what we call as capital expenditure. When you put a lot of capital expenditure, every month, paying interest on that expenditure, all this means you're required to take out all the money from that now. Yes or not? This is going to be very high. So that is why right now the concept in the industry is like no capital expenditure, no capital expenditure at all. That is not installed on it. What they have is only operational expenditure. What they have is only operational expenditure. What is that? Don't purchase anything. Take it for rent. Don't purchase anything. Take it only for the rent. See, movie industry is the best example for this. They don't purchase anything. They want a caravan for the hero. Yeah, get the caravan for rent. Use it. Pay the bill over. If you purchase it, it will be very costly. If I take it for rent, that's simple. I can just, whenever I don't want, I can send it back now. Are you clear? We call this as operational expenditure. Okay. So if you go for your own PC, if you want to make your own PC as a server, what you have is your capital expenditure, operational expenditure, capital expenditure. Okay. If you rent some space on a public server, then there's no capital expenditure. What we have? Operational expenditure. On a public server, on Azure, I just purchase some space now. I purchase some space on Azure now. I hosted my site now there, using it now. Your site is not popular. You did not, you expected some business on the site and hosted it. That is a big failure. Big failure, remove from Azure, that's all. First, remove from Azure, close it. That's all. One time settlement. Until then, you use it now, just pay the charges and close off your things. That's all. Finish. No more extra charges again. No. You don't require to think how to sell all this hardware now. The capital expenditure won't be here. Are you clear or not? So these all the involvement comes into picture when you are going for your own PC. If your own PC is there, what do you know? Hardware expenses. Not only hardware, software expenses. You have to purchase all licensed versions. See, generally on your PC, you use pirated softwares or you get online apps and use it. But once you go to business, you cannot use any pirated software. What you require to use is licensed. Everything should be licensed there. Are you clear? So all these investments are high now. And also, no labor expense. Who maintain your server now? Are you going to maintain your own server? No. I need a person to maintain my server again. Yes or not? For whom I need to. If you compare all these things here, you will be spending a lot of money to maintain your server. 1/10 of it if you invest, 1/10 of you invest, you can host on a public server like a Azure or AWS or a Google, somewhere you can put off your site now. Is the point clear, all of you? Yes or not? So if you want to maintain your own PC, these are all the things you require to take into consideration. So always that's why don't go for your own PC. That involves in what? Capital expenditure. Always go for hiring, which involves in operational expenditure. So we have a model called pay as you go. Understand? Simple English. Pay as you go. What is that? Use it, pay it. It is not like monthly billing also. It is not like monthly billing also. It is hourly billing. It is hourly billing, that's all. Yesterday I hosted my site, but today it was 24 hours. And after 2 hours, after one day, after 26 hours I used it, I have removed everything from Azure. I have removed everything from Azure. Microsoft will send me a proof for 26 hours, that's all. Not from back and not 2 days, no 2 days count. Hourly billing. It's a beautiful concept it is. How much time you want? Put it there. Do it over. I'm not going to charge you. That's called pay as you go. So what is involved here? Only operational expenditure. There will not be any capital expenditure. So going forward with all of you, now you're going as a developer, but going forward, all of you are required to be learning this cloud. For everyone, it will become mandatory going forward. Everyone, it will become mandatory going forward. Cloud, about this cloud. So when you learn about this cloud, when you start writing, learning about this cloud, then you will understand all these technologies, what I'm using, capital expenditure, operational expenditure, pay as you goes, all these things comes in cloud. Okay, then you will come to know about it much more in detail, but that's what. Next. Again, voice not clear. Guys, for all the classes, for all the CSAP batches, I posted all the videos already in the groups here. I'll try asking to change the device once, but meanwhile, I just posted all those things in the groups. Need an admin. మళ్ళీ డిస్టర్బెన్స్ వస్తున్నట్టు రాజు రావాల్సిందే రాజు రావాల్సిందే రాజు కావాలి అర్జెంట్ రమ్మని I want to become a .NET developer, including cloud. So first learn .NET, then you think about cloud. Don't put your legs in both at a time. You won't understand anything at all first. So just to do .NET, learn about cloud. వస్తుందా చెప్పారా ప్రాబ్లం చెప్పారా ఎవరు నేర్చుకుంటారు మళ్ళీ యా విజయ్ లెట్స్ వాట్ don't think about both at a time. First do only .NET. Once completed, then do cloud. Even I am preparing for cloud now. What I require in my company, I am just updating cloud. Basically, cloud in the sense we need to write the exams for cloud here. When you write the exams for cloud, basically for becoming a cloud architect, you need to qualify for the exams. Yeah, it's high time for you. Not important right now. Don't focus on all these things at a time. Just a minute. Who scanned it here? I'm scanning it, someone scanned up. The online friends, don't scan it, man. Stop it here. Hold on, please. The scan is not working. My scan is not working. I did not create any group, please. I will announce you when the group is created. Guys, if you are not able to hear my voice clearly, yeah, for the time being, anyhow, we'll resolve the issue. For the time being, you can just check out these videos. Okay. Maybe the concepts, what I say, will be jumbling here and there. But till then, you can just make use of these videos, guys. Okay, our admin is coming up to resolve the issue. Yes, meanwhile, for your information, I'm telling you, you can just copy these videos. Anyhow, I have just placed up these videos in all the groups already. Okay. You can also copy. And I did not create a WhatsApp group, man. I did not create still. When I create the group, I will add you. Hold on, please. I did not create any WhatsApp group still. Listen to me, guys. The WhatsApp group is not created at Google Classroom is not created at. Just to follow the videos for the time being. We'll provide all the things to you. Not able to copy, yeah. Stop, man. Stop it. Why? Just a second. Acceptance, everyone. Okay, whoever is able to copy. Who are not able to copy, ping me on the WhatsApp, please. Okay, fine. Let me continue, guys. Anyhow, the admin is coming. I said you, like, if you have any confusions, just You can just go to the videos. Nothing to do with my care. My care, it's an outer system. It's a new one. So nothing to check with this. The device has a problem, I think. The broadcasting device has a problem, maybe. Redmi is coming to verify. Okay. Just were able to listen, understood, just continue. Others, if you have any problem also, I given the videos, you can watch them. Okay, just listen. Yeah. What are the benefits of using an internet service provider? What are the benefits of using an internet service provider? Renting a web server from an ISP is a very common option, and most small companies store their website or web application on a server provided by an ISP only. Here are some advantages. Already said you, renting space is the very common option what we follow in the industry. And the benefit I said you, what is it? We don't have any capital expenditure. We don't have any capital expenditure here. I don't require to invest some 10, 20 lakhs at a time to purchase all the things now. What I have is only operational expenditure. Okay. See, you're trying to purchase, you want to travel somewhere. You want a car. To travel, purchasing a car is an expensive thing. There are so many companies which will give you car on rent. Zoom cars. We have that app. Install that app and you can just take a car for rent. For one day, 10,000 you pay, you get a car now. Investing 10 lakhs in purchasing a car and paying 10,000 in getting a car is the simplest thing now. Right? Okay, that is what. So that's the main thing. Okay, so here are some important benefits you get. What are those? First one, speed of connection. Most ISPs have very fast connections to the internet. Yeah, high speed connection availability will be there. If I want a high speed connection, I need to invest a lot of money. But ISPs will invest because that is their business. Next, security and stability. ISPs are specialists on web hosting. Expect your servers to have more than 99% uptime, the latest software patches, and the best virus protection. All these things will be available. What is it? 99% uptime, in the sense your site won't be down at any point of time. Your site won't be down at any point of time. That's what we call as 99% uptime. And you also have the latest software patches and the best virus protection. Okay. Next, powerful hardware will be available with them. ISPs often have powerful web servers that can be shared by several companies. You can also expect them to have an effective load balancing, necessary backup service. What is load balancing? Suppose if the server becomes busy and having huge traffic, immediately they will bring another server into action. So you go to a bank, there is a teller counter, and a lot of people came for deposits now. A lot of people came for deposits. A big queue, and the people are standing in the queue now. When the queue clears, it's a big dilemma. So in such scenarios, immediately the manager will try to take one more counter. So 2, 3 counters at the time if you open, what will happen? Automatically the load gets decreased. That's all load balance. They have the load balancing techniques and also they have backup servers. They have the backup servers also here. Is that clear? Just a minute, guys. Audio breaking. Guys, is audio breaking now also? Good. అనుకో ఇదే ప్రాబ్లం ఉన్నది. Hello. Yeah. Check now. Check now, please. Who are facing I పెంచుకో ఇది పెంచుకో రీసౌండ్ వచ్చేస్తుంది అదే లాస్ట్ డే ఇందులో లాస్ట్ దేనికి అది చెక్ నో గైస్ బట్ రీసౌండ్ కమింగ్ స్టిల్ ఇంకా వస్తుందంట రీసౌండ్ వస్తుందంట తీసావా యూఎస్బి తీసి డైరెక్ట్ ఇచ్చావా చెక్ ఇట్ అవుట్ ఇస్ ద క్వాలిటీ గుడ్ హలో ఓకే ఇట్స్ ఫైన్ నౌ ఓకే దెన్ okay fine so you understood the benefits here what is the first benefit have a good connection speed you have security and stability you are powerful all these things will be provided by the ISPs now because their business is to host a site so they always have advanced softwares now yes or not okay the company started their business for hosting public server for it's going to host it for hosting servers then automatically all these things will be available with them with effective means they'll be having high configured servers high configured softwares hardwares softwares latest antivirus softwares everything will be available with them and also I said you load balancing and backup service okay and guys these are some important things you require to put in the mind before you go with an ISP. These are some important things that are required to put in the mind before you go to an ISP. What are the things? What are the things you require to put in the mind before you go to the ISP? Are they going to provide you 24-hour support or not? Yes, guys, today every company provides you 24/7 support. Are you clear? Everyone is giving you 24/7 support. So it is telling, are they verify whether 24/7 support is available? It depends from country to country also. It depends from country to country also. In all countries, you may not be having 24/7 support. Are you clearer or not? In all countries, you may not be having 24/7 support. Suddenly, if the company feels that maintenance cost is becoming high, they say the support is available only for working days, not for non-working days. Okay, so maybe 24-hour support may not be available to you always. So that's why by checking first, you verify whether you have a 24/7 support or not. Next, is the company going to have daily backup or not? Because your data, backup of the data is important for you now. So do they provide you a daily backup service or not? Next, you need to study the traffic volumes. You need to study the traffic volumes. Because sometimes some companies may put you a restriction. What restriction? If your volume increases, the bill also will be increased. Your volume increases in the sense, more number of connections, the bill also gets increased. Okay, but right now, all companies changed their policy. We don't have this restriction anywhere. Means I'm talking about all the three major cloud systems. The three major. What are the three? Microsoft Azure, Amazon AWS, Google GCP. These three doesn't have the restriction now. Whatever is the traffic, you don't have any restrictions basically here. No traffic restrictions are there. Next, Check whether you have any content restrictions. Suppose you want to post any audios, videos, maybe they put some content restriction. Otherwise you cannot post the videos. And guys, for videos and all today, I don't require to put on my servers. The best way how videos are getting published, you all know, videos are published in YouTube and a link is put in your web page. Today, all videos play like that only. In every page you see, when you click on YouTube, plays the video. Video doesn't play directly there. So we don't require to bother, but just it is checking whether all these things, make sure they're available for you correctly or not. Next. Is your ISP providing you email support or not? Is your ISP providing you email support or not? Next. Does the ISP provide you database access or not? So before going off to a public one, make sure all this availability is present or not. That's what it is trying to tell you. Okay, they're only guidelines, guys. They're only guidelines which are going to tell you how to decide whether all these options are available or not. Okay, just you have to make sure whether all these options are available or not. Okay, so this is all about the things what I was just telling you guys. So you got an idea first how to publish a website first. We don't know how to make a website. How to make a website using HTML, JavaScript and CSS, we can make a static website. What you can make? Static website. Static website in the sense? Static website means page will come as it is, no user inputs, nothing gets changed, same pages will come always. But whatever requirement is not creating a static website, what you want to create is a, if you know HTML, JavaScript and CSS, what you know is only creating a static website. But you guys are not aware of creating a dynamic website. And what I'm going to teach you right now here is how to create dynamic web pages or dynamic websites. Clearer? And that's why I said you must have the knowledge of HTML, CSS, JavaScript. This knowledge is mandatory, not optional, mandatory. Okay, based on that only, I will teach you how to make it dynamic now, how to make your site as dynamic. Okay, fine. After making your site, what to do is what I explained you till now. Or you need to host it on a public server and all these things. Everything I'll show you practically. Everything I will show you practically, step by step going forward. Is it clear? Okay, well, now, basically, some few things I just want to tell you here. What it is. Actually, we are building an application now, a website. And to build an application or to build a website, what is the architecture we are just trying to follow? We're just trying to follow some architecture. Basically, you need to understand about two things here, guys. What are the two things? One is design patterns. One is design patterns. Second one is architecture patterns. So listen, if at all you wanted to build a website, there are two things you need to understand. First one is design patterns. Second one is architecture patterns. What are design patterns and what are architecture patterns? Okay, let me give you a clarity about these things first. Design patterns and the architecture patterns. What's a design pattern? What's a design pattern means? See, a design pattern is basically a solution for a problem. A design pattern is a solution for a problem. What is that? I'll tell you in simple words. You're building a house. While building a washroom in the house, you're facing a seepage problem. Seepage, water leaks. You're facing a seepage problem. So when you face the seepage problem, okay, someone given an idea What are they? From Asian Paints, you just have some special liquid available for controlling the seepages actually. What they generally do it, they mix it in your cement. They mix it in your cement and they do the plastering to control the seepages. So someone said you and you used it, and you are successful. You're successful. Controlled, seepage was controlled, everything was good. Now today, your friend was building a house. He asked you how to control this seepage problem. You said to him now. He also followed. And he was also successful. Like this, you people start telling to someone, they start telling to someone, yes or not. And finally, that becomes a practice. What is that? Everyone who is building a new house, make sure you are following these particular principles so that going forward, you will not have any seepage problems in the house. Are you getting my point or not? And that is going to called as a design pattern. Did you get my point or not? Problem and a solution for the problem is what we call as a design pattern. Clearer or not? The same way, problems will come only while building house. Huh? You get problems while building a software also now? Yes or not? The most common problems, what the developers will face. The most common problems what the developers face is identified. And for all those problems, some solutions have been given. And we call them as design patterns. And there are 23 design patterns in the industry. How many? 23 design patterns are available in the industry. We call all these as design patterns, and basically there are 23 design patterns in the market. Just a minute. So actually, the design patterns are divided into 3 categorizations. What are the 3? Creational patterns, structural patterns, behavioral patterns. Okay, what creational patterns talks about? Creational patterns talks about object creation. They talk about object creation. You know, object creation, how to create an object. It will talk about how to create an object. I'll give you an example. Say, what is creational pattern means, to make you understand, I'm giving an example. This talks about what? Object creations. Okay, I have a requirement in my application here. What the requirement is, I have a class, but for this class, I want to give a chance of creating one and only one instance. Did you understand me or not? I have a public class. Anyone can use it. But I want to make a restriction like for this class, one and only one instance creation should be done. More than one instance creation should not be done. Did you understand or not? How many instances should be created? One only. How can you control it, sir? Because once you define a class as public, anyone can create the instance of the class now? Yes or not? Okay, watch it. How to write the code. Public class test. This is the class. For this class, how many instance creation should be done? One only. More than one instance creation should not be done. If you want this to be happening, the first rule is recollect you learned in your C# classes. What is it? If you don't want anyone to create an instance directly, the constructor of the class should be private. Once you define a constructor in your class as private, can anyone create the instance of this class now? No one can create the instance of the class. Yes or not? Okay. So instance creation can be done only within the class, not out of the class. Okay, but what is our requirement? Our requirement is not restricting instance creation. Our requirement is one instance creation. Our requirement is one instance creation, not restricting it. But when I say private constructor, instance creation cannot be done at all. Yes or not? Okay, what you do next? Listen, I'm writing a static method in the class. I'm writing a static method in the class. Public static string create instance. The method name is create instance. I'll tell you the logic. What is the written type of the method? Thing is the class now. So any class can be used as the written type now. Not string. The written type is test. Array, string is the class, test is the class. That I can use string, I can use test also. So what is the written type? Test is the written type. Okay now? Watch. On the top of the class, I'm declaring static test obj. I'm declaring a variable now. A variable of the class. Which class? Test class. And that is static. That is static. Are you clear? Okay. Now see the code inside of the method. What is the method code? You know, if obj is equals to null, means initialized or not initialized? Not initialized. If obj is equals to null means not initialized. Okay. Then I'll say obj is equals to new. What I'm doing? Creating the instance now. Now I say return obj. All of you carefully observe the code. It's a public class with a private constructor in the class. So no one can create the instance of this class. Yes or not? Now in that, we declared a static variable on the top. It is static variable. Now we defined a method. What is the method? Create instance. Okay. And what did you write in this? If obj is equals to null, obj is equals to new test, return obj. Correct now? Now I'm defining another class, guys. Class demo. In this class, I want to create the instance of test class. Guys, all of you, carefully. In this class, what I want to do? Create the instance of test class. Can I create like this? Can I create like this? Come on, fast. No. Why? Constructor is private. You cannot create an instance like this. This is a wrong code. Private constructor, not valid, right? Then how to create the instance, you know? Watch. Test dot. Understand, man. Create instance is a static method or not? Where is it defined? Test dot create instance. What is the written type? Test is the written type now. This is how you create a instance. Frankly, it's not an instance, guys. What is it? You know, reference. It is a reference. Then where is the instance? Sir? Instance creation is done under create instance method. Are you clear? You can never say test t is equals to new test anytime. Always what you require to write? Test t is equals to test dot create instance. Did you understand? And this will create you one and only one instance. Why, sir? Array, see the code in the class? If object is null, you're asking to initialize it. If it is not null, return the same only. If it is not null, already created, give the same. Not created, create. Means how many times will create? One only. Do you remember? Did you in C# classes, you learned about types of constructors, remember? Constructors are 5 types. What are the 5 types? First one, default constructor, parameterized constructor, copy constructor, static constructor, private constructor. And go and read your notes, guys. On the private constructor concept, I said you, we use private constructor for creating a singleton class. Singleton class means for this class, you can create one and only one instance. This is a design pattern. This is a design pattern. What is the name of the design pattern, sir? Singleton design pattern. What is that? Singleton design pattern. In the sense, for this class, there is a availability or there is a chance of creating only one instance. Why, sir? Why you want to create one instance only? Basically, guys, this class, suppose it is dealing with a database. This class is dealing with a database. Without establishing multiple connections, for all I want to use only one single connection. Everyone should use the same connection connected to database now. Are you getting me or not? So now I don't want multiple connections here. How many? One only. So follow this process. Second instance won't be created. For everyone, how many instances? One and only one. Clear or not? So this is talking about object creation only now. Tell me. That is only the first one. What is it? Creational pattern. These design patterns provide a way to create objects while hiding the. You understood now? There's abstraction there while creating. How did you create the instance? Test t is equals to test dot create instance. How is it created? How do I know? The logic is inside the method. Which method? Create instance. Abstraction. There is abstraction. We don't know the logic now. We don't know what the logic implemented. What we do? We call a method. The method will return the instance and use it now. What is the logic inside the method here? I don't know. Are you clear? While hiding the creational logic, rather than instanting object directly using. See, you did not create an object by using new operator now. Correct or not? This gives programs more in deciding which object need to be created for a given use case. So basically, when you talk about the creational patterns, we have 5 creational patterns available. What are the 5? See? The last one is singleton. Okay. Now, someone asked me a question last time. Sir, are you explaining design patterns? No, I am not explaining design patterns. Our syllabus is not about design patterns first. I only given you an idea what is a design pattern. Going forward, what's a design pattern? Each design pattern, there's a simple design pattern here. Each design pattern takes 1 week to explain. You know that? You won't understand design patterns also now. Going forward, you need to learn all these 23 design patterns are there. There is no one in the market who knows all the 23 at all. There's no one in the market here who knows all the 23 at all. Then what do they know, sir? What is required? I learn that. That's all. What I need, that design pattern, learn. That's all. Are you getting my point or not? There are so many languages in the market. Will you learn everything? You will go and land in a mental hospital now. You know that? You'll become mad if you learn all these languages. What is important for you? Learn that. That's all. Same way, 23 design patterns are there, sir. I want to learn now. Learn. But it will take a lot of time to understand all the concepts. Are you clear? There is no one expert in all these patterns. What you learn is what you require. I need my manager said, we will go for implementing a factory pattern here. You don't know what is a factory pattern. Now start Googling. What is a factory pattern? How to implement it? Learn about the factory pattern. Get an idea about it. That's all. Don't try to learn off all these particular things as of now. And for freshers, not required also. First. Entry level, it's not required. So I'm trying as an experienced, maybe interviewer may ask you, then up to you, you must learn about it. Okay. And no one will teaches you all this. You need to learn on your own. That's all. Are you clear? Just I'm giving you an idea what is a design pattern. That's all. Now tell me, this singleton pattern, what I explained you, is it talking about the whole application? We're talking about one class in an application, that's all. Did you understand? Design pattern means a problem in an application and a solution for that problem. What is the scope of it? Major or minor? What is the scope of a design pattern? The scope is major or minor? It's minor. It's not major. Why? I'm telling you, application is a big application. Yeah. In that application, one area I got a requirement, I use the design pattern. That's only for that area only. So the scope of a design pattern is very, very minor. Are you clear? Same way we have something called as structural patterns. What is that? These design pattern concern, sorry, these design pattern concern classes and object composition. What is it? This talks about classes and object composition. Concept of inheritance is used to compose interfaces and define ways to compose objects to define few functionalities. You remember I explained you these things to you already in the classroom. When I explained about the ATM case study for you all, recollect yourself what I said. Whatever methods you want, whatever functionalities you want to define in your ATM should be first declared in one interface. Afterwards, you should implement the interface in the class. First, you should define in the interface and afterwards implement in the classes. Based on the requirements, we just implement them in the classes. Are you clear? And that is what talks about structuring your inheritance. How do you divide them? This example also you can take. In inheritance, one day, people, student, staff, and staff, teaching staff. See, you're decomposing. You're just going to, you're breaking to parts and you're just going to build up your application now. So what it talks about is composition of the classes. What it talks about is composition of classes. Under the structural pattern, all these things will come. What? Adapter, bridge, composite, decorator, facade, flyweight. Recollect yourself. I already said about this proxy only on that day. And I said you very clearly, interface is called as a proxy. The proxy pattern. That is a proxy pattern. We learned in ATM systems case study in our C#. Are you clear? Third one, behavioral pattern. Our behavioral pattern talks about communication between the objects. It talks about communication between the objects. And this also we used. We talked about this also, yes. In the same ATM case study, recollect yourself. On the server, class sits on the client, on the server, instance will sit. On the client machine, reference will sit. Reference will talk with the instance. These two will talk with each other. Communication. Are you clear? Unknowingly, I did not tell you this is a design pattern, this is a design pattern, but I given an idea about two of these things, not all the 23. I'm not telling I said you all the 23 things to you. I given you an overview of all these particular things in your C# class. And under behavioral patterns, what will come? All this comes under behavioral patterns. Okay, so three different classifications. What are the three? Creational patterns. Who designed these design patterns? Who designed the design patterns actually? Okay, understand. What's a design pattern? Understand that correctly first. Design pattern represents the best practices used by developers. Understood? I'm an experienced object-oriented developer, and I followed some pattern for a problem. I followed something for a problem and I said to others, everyone also was successful. Then that becomes a design pattern now. Are you clear? A solution for a common problem faced by all people. It is called as a design pattern. So design patterns are solutions to general problems that software developer face during software development. These solutions were obtained by numerous software developers over quite a period. See, I done lot of R&D. I done lot of R&D and came out with some solution now. Okay, this is best. And to find out this solution, it has taken 1 month for me now. Just for example, now you came to me and asked, and I said you this. Your problem is solved in 5 minutes. But I have done a lot of R&D on it. Are you clear? See, that's what trial and error. Numerous developers have just made trial and error and they came out with these solutions to you. Next. Not freshly evolved yesterday or tomorrow. They are just came long back on 90, somewhere around 94, I remember. I'll tell you the correct year. 94 is what I remember. Design patterns have been evolved over and they provide best solution to during software development. Learning these design patterns help developers to learn software design in the easy and fast way. Design patterns are solution to software design problems you find again and again in real world application development. These design patterns are actually they who has just designed it means these are structured by 4 people here. We call them as gang of 4. We call them as gang of 4. These people has designed the concept of the design patterns actually. See, gang of 4. Yeah, 94. In 1994, 4 authors. One is Eric Gama, Richard Help, Ralph Johnson, and Josh Bisides. Published a book titled, what is it? Elements of Reusable is a book actually what they published. Is a book actually what they published, which initiated the concept of design patterns in software development. These authors are collectively known as Gang of 4. And the book is divided into 2 parts, guys. First part, explaining about pros and cons of object-oriented programming may have some negatives also. It was explaining about pros and cons of object-oriented programming. And the second one is explaining about evaluation of there are 23 design patterns totally. And they're published by Gang of 4 in 1994. Okay. Types of design patterns. As per the design pattern reference book, design pattern elements of reusable object-oriented software, there are 23 design patterns classified into creational, structural, and behavioral patterns. They are divided into creational, structural, and behavioral patterns. Are you clearer? Yes or not? So we just divide them into 3 different patterns, basically creational pattern, structural pattern, and the behavioral patterns. And creation pattern talks about what? Object creation. Structural pattern talks about composition of the classes. And behavioral pattern talks about communication between the objects. How objects are going to talk with each other. That's what about the design pattern. Why I explained you about this one is because whatever we're learning is MVC, correct? Everyone tomorrow, what is MVC means? Everyone says MVC is a design pattern. Everyone thinks like MVC is a design pattern. Wrong. MVC is not a design pattern. In the 23, MVC is not there anywhere. You notice that? In the 23, we did not find MVC pattern anywhere. See, there is a false convention in the market. There is a false or a wrong convention in the market where most of the people think MVC is a design pattern. Are you clearer or not? No, MVC is not a design pattern. To tell you that, because tomorrow you too can also be falling in the same trap. So that's why, without just you need to make understand, MVC is not a design pattern. And I listed you all the 23 here to tell MVC is not under the design patterns. Are you clear? And design pattern doesn't talk about application development. What it talks about? A minor part in the application development. It doesn't talk about application development. What is it? A minor problem may come, may not come. If it doesn't come, I won't use design pattern at all here. If I have that requirement only, I'll use. If I don't have a requirement, I don't use the design pattern. So is it compulsory to use some design pattern by application? Not at all. Then what is MVC, sir? MVC is a architectural pattern. What is MVC? What is architectural pattern? Architectural pattern means it talks about the architecture of an application. Broader scope or smaller scope? Understand what is the difference? Architecture pattern means building a house. Design pattern means fixing. Design pattern means fixing the seepage problem in my washroom. Did you catch my point or not? What architecture pattern is talking about? Building an application. Building a means it is talking about building a house now. Are you clear? Under that, you may or may not use a design pattern. Not compulsory, na? Did you catch my point or not? You may use, you may not use. That's what. But architectural pattern, when you talk about architecture pattern, means every application requires an architecture to build. Every application requires a architecture. The architecture pattern is like plan of a house. Do you need a plan to build a house? Without a plan, can you build a house? Same. Architectural pattern has broader scope. So if at all you want to build an application, first you are required to decide in what architecture are you planning to build the house now. That's what exactly architecture pattern talks about. Are you clearer? Yes or not? Okay. So I give you a clear picture about what is an architecture pattern, what is an architecture pattern, where MVC stands, what is MVC, all these things I'll tell you from the tomorrow session. Is that clear? We'll start from there tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, guys, you can carry on. Really?